Okay, guys, it's Randy Chavez. This one isn't a podcast like I had the other two guests on the other day. I had a third one, this girl Amy, but it was a lot of crazy shit on that one, so I was like, probably best not upload it. This one is just going to be kind of a talk about why I cosplay. I mentioned that in my most recent Pokemon video, that a famous cosplayer bought one of my Pokemon cards, and for me what it means, and now I'm getting older and moving forward and my body's not as malleable as it was when I was in my 20s. I'm still in my 20s though. Basically, what is cosplay? You are taking a costume and you're doing like a play on the costume. Like you could either dress up however you want. Picture Halloween, you're a pirate, you're whatever, like you're Spider-Man. People that are really into comic books, like, okay, which Spider-Man are you? Which, Joker is this? There's a lot that goes into it, and by all means, you could have like the shittiest cosplay ever. Like, you'd be like, it doesn't matter. There's a general rule, like anyone can cosplay as anyone, and you could be fat and cosplay a skinny person. You could be black and cosplaying a white person. You could be like fucking scrawny like me and cosplaying Bane. Like, I used to cosplay as Bane. Bane from the DC universe. Batman and Bane, and so I was really big, I was really huge, and then I would also cosplay as Spider-Man, as Deadpool is my favorites. And for those of you that don't know that, and you go to Comic-Con, you think these people are fucking freaks, these are fucking weird ass people, they're all doing some weird shit, and okay, and to your credit, yeah, a lot of us are a little weird, but that's what makes it fun. That's being around people that aren't normal. Like, you don't conform to what normal is, standards. Like, yeah, like, I love watching football. I love watching hockey. I used to play, like, NHL Breakout, Wayne Gretzky 3D Hockey, Quarterback Club, Madden. Like, I can be, like, a guy bro and go out to a baseball game, have a few beers, and be like, oh, Barzell's playing like shit today. But, no, but it's fun going... I'd also be around dorks, people that just don't grow up. People that are just having a good time. Like, honestly, like, the biggest partiers I know that I've met in life, and I've been around to a bunch of different places, not just in America, kind of travel the world, are military and cosplayers. And holy shit. Like, when you get a couple of people in the military that cosplay also, it's crazy. But yeah, no, cosplayers are one of the biggest partiers, drinkers. Like, they go hard. Like, what you see at Comic-Con, yeah, they're people, they're dressing up in their outfits. Sometimes they do cosplay. Sometimes they're really elaborate, crazy. But a lot of times they make it themselves. There's a lot of good artwork that goes into it. And, like, kids can do it. Some parents use it as an excuse. Like, oh, okay, kids here. But no, like, dude, a lot of the cosplay stuff is pretty... R-rated, and a lot of the parties, the after parties, are very R-rated. Some of them X. Yeah, no, there's always a lot of drinking. I'm sure there are drugs. I don't think I've gone to Comic-Con on like acid or anything, but I think I would like to. Where it gets a little, again, a lot of the after parties are great. Like, during the con, you could drink also. One of my favorite parts. I always go with either a group of people, but I'm always usually with my friend Erica. We had dated back in 2014. I met her before that. We met like on like a Ron Paul fan page, and we met at this thing called Liberty Fest, and we wound up dating for a while, and she really got me into cosplay, and it was fun. And where it kind of gets, I don't want to say dicey, but where it gets a little, where, like, again, some of these people take it really, really seriously. And they won't answer you unless, like, oh, this guy, let's say his name is Bob Book, but he's cosplaying as Iron Man, Tony Stark. They won't answer you unless you call him, hey, Mr. Stark, Iron Man, and they're like, oh, But so sometimes characters like Deadpool, a little X-rated. You get, some villains that just have mouths on them. Deadpool's marked with a mouth, and there's kids around. That's the time where you say, like, okay, let me dial it down. You should dial it down. Some don't. Some don't give a fuck. But there was one that me and Erica went to where I got my first gift. Where, I forget, it was at, like, a children's thing. And they wanted, superheroes there. And she was, like, some Disney princess, which was great. and they wanted me to be, or I was Deadpool, and this one girl says, "Oh my God, I love you," and I was like, "Oh, hi, thank you," and I was doing it as Deadpool, so I had the voice and everything, but she said, "I love you," and then went away. I was like, "Oh, okay," I walked around, we did our thing, and then I see her again like an hour later. She was a kid. She's like, well, not even like a kid. She wasn't like 6. She was like maybe 10 or 12 or whatever. And she went to like the kids' arts and crafts corner and made me like a sock puppet. I have it somewhere up there, and said, "I made this for you." And at the time, I was like, "Oh, this is the first time it's ever happened to me. Oh God, what do I do with it?" So I just, "Hey, thank you very much. I'm gonna keep this with the rest of my collection." Now that I had the collection at that point, and then I go to Erica, like, "What do I do this? What do I do this?" Like it's like you save it. That's so, and that's like one of the most important things to me now. As I look at it, as like this, someone took time out of their day because they loved what you were doing so much, and that meant the world to me. And X amount of months later, or something, I had we'll go to another one, and guys like, "I love it, I love it. You've never seen one. You're so great. I've never seen one just like you." And he gives me like a Deadpool Funko Pop. So it's really cool. There's a lot of heart in it. There's a lot of people that give you feels. But again, crazy parties. Like if you want to, like, you get laid at those parties. If you want to be like Superman and hook up with a Wonder Woman, you absolutely can. If again, some people ship certain people. If you want to be Batman and hook up with Superman, you could probably do that too. There's again I was cosplaying as this guy Crow. He's an aging alcoholic, but he's a cool fighter, and I was like, "That's me as fuck." And he's known as like a ladies' man in the show Ruby, but in the the fan fiction population of it, they ship. And when they say ship, is I want in my mind, you are in a relationship with this person, and that's what's called shipping. And they ship him and this other guy named Ozpin, and I was with this guy named Ozpin, and some people was like that, that whole total like Mike Tyson now kiss, and I was like, for the fans, like, "I'll do it if you want," and he's like, "No, I can't." I was like, but that's like, again, a bunch of alcohol people, you can get people to do crazy things. Like there is almost nothing that won't be done. If you just ask, and that'll happen. And that's happened to me multiple times before. Like I'm with Spider-Man. I was with my friend Carlos, another Spider Girl, and this guy's like, "Hey, can I get a picture of you too?" Like, yeah, we do like a back-to-back pose, like whatever. And it's like, "Can you guys kiss?" And I was like, "I'm into it." And she's like, "No." I was like, "Okay," but that's it's weird. I'm always the one that's okay with it. Everyone was like, "Nah." But that's something that'll happen. Like people will be like, "Hey, can you guys kiss?" You'll get asked like the most crazy things, but you could go. You don't have to cosplay. You can just go and like people watch, just have a few drinks, and just appreciate the artwork and appreciate a lot of the crazy stuff that happens. But you could also make a lot of money with it too. Like there's this girl Jessica Negri who's like one of the most famous cosplayers ever. She had a bunch of her like biggest famous one was she had like a sexy Pikachu cosplay, where she had like Pikachu ears, a yellow top, a yellow skirt, and like a tail, and it went viral. And she's a big pop star or big star in that universe, and making I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of dollars a year just because of her personality and just her name. And there's this one, and again, she's like top of the top, making like several $100,000 a year, and she works for it too. She makes a lot of her own cosplays, and she has a YouTube channel, and she tries. And there's this one guy, I don't actually know his name. I see him every year. He's a cool dude. He cosplays as Peter Griffin. I don't know what he does during the day, some type of office guy, but he is Peter Griffin, like, to a fucking T. And he's gotten like a little, he's had a couple interviews done, a little bit of fame, but if someone look at him and be like, "Oh, it's Peter Griffin," they don't know his name though. But you look at Jessica Negri in the cosplay community, that's Jessica Negri. And this is someone that has, again, making several $100,000 a year, and is signing autographs all day long when she's at these cons, and she's just like, has every excuse to be like, hey, or just tired as fuck. But this guy Peter Griffin comes along and just starts doing his thing, and she's like, "Oh my god, that is the greatest fucking thing I've ever seen because he's perfect." And she's like, "Oh," and she's like tries to play with him, and he's like, "Oh, like how's Meg?" And he's like, "Who the hell cares?" Because he's Peter Griffin, and just the fact that you could make people laugh, you could change people's moods and their outlook on life, even if it's just for a second. If a couple of my, not to say a lot, a few of the people that I've known that was in prison that have done time in jail, they said that one of the biggest things that helped them through it is when you laugh. When you laugh, you forget about everything just for those moments. I think honestly similar to like the military too, when you're just like working 14-hour shifts in the desert, like 130-degree heat, full battle, full everything on. Yeah, laughing helps. And the fact that you could do that with a costume and just an attitude and accent, that is fucking cool. Being able to change people's outlooks on life just for those few minutes, and that's what that means to me. That's why I continue to do it. Obviously not this year. One, I lost my body because I haven't had a gym, so I look like shit. And two, there's no cons because of coronavirus. But that is why I love cosplay. That's what it means to me. That's just why I will continue to do it. I have no time for anything. I don't know how the fuck I'm going to do it next year, but yeah, you need to take time for yourself. And that's something that I do for a lot of fun. So, again, great community, lots of great people. There's some of my lifelong friends that I have, like, throwing myself a huge-ass birthday party later this year. And a couple of those people that are coming are people that I've met cosplaying. Anyway, I love you all. I will talk to you all later. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Goodbye.